Now we're back to rain again, and as you can see, we have a puddle here, and if I walk over here, you can also see very clearly that the palovnia trees have now lost their leaves and little branches. So let me take you over there. Oh, and by the way, the beans that came up here, they suffered from the frost. We will see if they have survived and will continue growing, or whether they are now dead. That's the thing, it is pretty warm, and you think that you might be able to grow something, and then there comes a frost for a night, and then that was the end. And speaking about the end, I harvested a bunch of green tomatoes. These here have been left outside. They have been getting red, means ripe, but whenever they become ripe, the birds will also pick them. So I'm not sure whether this is going to work out. But I did harvest a full bucket. Not from these here, but from the other ones that self-seeded. And I'm trying to make a chutney out of those. So here you can see how this looks like. And I will wait a little bit and then do the technical cut. So that means they will all be cut at ground level, and then they should come back when spring comes around. The big leaves there, this is some sort of a flower. I only remember the German name, it was Kokardenblume. Not sure what it is. Supposedly it's a flower. We will have to see how this continues. But with the lower temperatures and the moisture, this thing is definitely growing. And there are some broad beans in between, and they also seem to continue. So everything that has those oval shaped leaves, those are the broad beans. We are in a pause between rain showers, which is why I can go out. It's pretty dark, bad for my solar system, but we manage. And speaking about a solar system, so panels are cheap, but batteries are pretty expensive. So if you are off-grid and you really want to be independent, you are easily looking at some 20,000 euro investment just for the batteries. And then you might be able to be good for a couple of days, but of course it depends on your consumption. And the moment you use solar for heating as well, think about a heat pump, yeah, then it gets even more complicated. So this whole thought with renewable energies is great, but it requires things that most people are not really aware of. I'm not complaining about anything, so here off-grid, that means we have to figure things out and make it work, because there is no alternative. Nobody will put a connection to the grid here. The grid is about 3 kilometers away, and they would expect you to pay for that to install a wire over the distance, and then the connection wouldn't be that great because this is not a big line that they have down there. So it is better to build something up step by step. And now that I touched on this topic, my strategy is to increase the number of solar panels, and like I mentioned the last time, not in this makeshift manner, but there will be some sort of a solar stanchion there to also provide some shape. And a lot of panels, but only enough batteries to survive the night, because the battery technology is changing, and I am curious to see what shows up over the next couple of years. Every single piece that is hanging here from the ceiling is accounted for individually. Nothing can escape. Each leg has a label with an identification number. Now Angel is taking one out to have a closer look. And here it is. You can see how yellow the fat is, and you can also notice how it has shrunk. Now the weight is significantly less than when it was fresh. When you start cutting the ham, it is important to keep this fat in order to close the cut surface again, so that it won't dry out. To get your own leg of ham, you can head over to our web shop and order some. There are two options for you to buy the ham. We offer envelopes with 100 grams of hand-sliced pieces of ham, and there is the full leg. In the case of a front leg, it's about 4 to 6 kilo each. Families in Spain keep the leg in the kitchen, and everybody cuts off a slice whenever they are hungry. The doggies are in their enclosure. They don't like that, but for the time being it has to be that way. And I want to open this so that I can have a look over there to check out what the horses there have been doing. They have been fighting again. Schneemann has some blood on the nose. So someone was defending himself. And I say himself because it's boys fighting with boys and girls fighting with girls. But here and there, the girls, here you see them, are also telling the guys to back off. That's a dog life. And you can see they have been scratching a little bit. That's just how it is. They're all wet, but they have enough of fur in 2 layers. They stay warm, so that's not a problem. So here we have also quite a bit of forage. That is a reserve, and the rain now should help this to grow. So this is a place for Sakahawea, because it is enclosed as a boundary, and she understands that she is blind and therefore will not do crazy things. So when she gets close to a fence, I observed that because she heard me talking and wanted to come closer, and then there was a fence between us, and the moment she touched the fence she backed off. Of course this is a little bit a problem because it's not straight, so when her upper body touches this, then the feet are already in between that, and that could create a problem. So here there needs to be a support before she can be in here. Of course this will not last for a very long time, but with that rain, and now that I closed this, the sheep cannot get in here anymore. So there I closed it. That should then become become a bit easier. So over here there are the horses. Let me try to zoom in and hopefully it won't shake that much. I forgot the tripod again. So there they are. And you can see that there is still a lot of food left. And here at the very beginning there is also lots of forage. So they can stay there for a while. While the parts where they have been, all our zone A here on the other side, this can now grow again, and the rain is going to help. So this is all looking very well. And basically before, the horses have never been here, and now the intention is to let them graze here in these areas. And the fencing that we built further up, step by step, my intention is to resurrect this in a horse fashion, so that they can stay in a sector, in a larger sector, and move around freely there. We'll see how that goes. These wires don't have to be electric, so it is just to send a message. And speaking about horses, as I am here, I can mention that. So this whole area here that is flat is kind of earmarked. Oh, you can see Mr. Cat. He has not gotten his food yet. I will provide this to him now. So this whole area, which is flat, almost, it is a little bit, it has an inclination to the left. But this area is supposed to be a horse training area at some point, so it has been earmarked for that for a while. And now that the cattle is out, we can build the round pen again, so there in the back. And over time, we can have here a rectangular training area so that you can do something with horses. My thinking is that the horses that we have are very good, and we should probably have more, and also some donkeys, because their manure is very good for the soil. They are a lot easier to manage than cattle. We don't have to kill them to get a benefit. So that's overall a very good situation, and it's a lot nicer. So that is kind of the right type of animal that produces manure and grazes for the new idea of building a forest. So he has said hello, and he now goes on its way again exploring. And he will get his food in a moment. And then I can also let these out. So basically we have a little routine, not telling any secret here. Basically in the morning while there's traffic in and out, I keep them in their enclosure, and when that phase is over, then I release them so that they have the whole farmyard to themselves. And of course at night they are at large. So again, don't show up, it's 3 AM in the morning. This will not end well. But during the day, when there is traffic, and it doesn't matter who exactly is the traffic, it is better to have the dogs in their enclosure, so that there is no misunderstanding. Yeah, is that right? Yeah, you want to get out. Yeah. Well, it's not yet time. Not yet time. the rain has not been a lot. So this is basically the groundwater plus a little bit. But at least the groundwater is now higher than it used to be during the late part of summer. So it's now at 3 meters, you can say. Which also means the roots that are at that depth will definitely be able to maintain the plant they belong to. So this is the situation.